Growing up in the 80s, I've always been a Goonies fan. My wife and I thought it would be fun to vlog a trip down to Astoria, Oregon to check out the filming locations. As I started my research, I was pleasantly surprised that the jail used in the movie is still there and it's been turned into a film museum. They even had Mama Fratelli's Jeep outside on display. But wait, I noticed some things with the Jeep weren't quite right. The tires, wheels, and brush guard were all wrong. Then I found out that it's not a 1984, it's not a stick shift, the steering wheel is incorrect, it has wing windows, a lift kit and a trailer package and it shouldn't have any of those. We really appreciate and applaud their efforts, but that led me to research what it might take to make my own screen-accurate version. I've always wanted to reproduce a popular vehicle from the movies or TV. The General Lee from the Dukes of Hazzard, the A-Team van, Kid from Knight Rider, the Back to the Future DeLorean, Christine, Ecto-1 from Ghostbusters, the GMC from The Fall Guy, or Baby from Supernatural. Most of these vehicles are very hard to get, very expensive to reproduce, or sadly, aren't exactly socially acceptable anymore. We discussed it. I mean, how hard would it be to find a 1984 Jeep Cherokee XJ with a 5-speed and tan interior, painted black, add some bullet holes, a brush guard, and KC lights, and bam, done. Or so I thought. Well, we pulled the trigger. The Jeep we found was a 1984, which is screen accurate. It is also a 5-speed manual transmission with tan interior, which is also screen accurate. But she needs a lot of work. It's clear this isn't going to be just a recreation, it will also be a rebuild. We named her Anne, after the late Anne Ramsey who played Mama Fratelli. She was quoted as to say, "Some people say I'm not a very pretty woman, but I'm a very beautiful woman inside." This touched me, so I wanted to pay tribute by turning this ugly Jeep into something of beauty. So let's begin the extensive rebuild process. I'll bounce around from different parts and subjects, research, locating, purchasing, and obtaining parts, tearing her down and building her up in chronological order as it happens. Check out the daily videos here on YouTube for updates as they happen. We also have a TikTok of additional rebuild content at Mama Fratelli's Jeep. You can also follow our Facebook group, Fratelli's Jeep Build. We hope that this is something that every Goonies fan can appreciate. Without further ado, let's get started on our Goonies adventure.
So,
Troy's crazy.
I am crazy. I've always wanted to reproduce a movie car, and if you guys, what are you doing? I've always wanted to reproduce a movie car, and who doesn't love the Goonies? I mean, who doesn't know about the Goonies?
You to hold that for me, or you got?
Oh, I'm
You used to doing everything with one hand.
I'm used to doing everything with one hand. Vloggers do it with one hand. Did you know that? Let that sink in for a second. I had the wild idea because I've been watching the Goonies and I've been like really into it, and it's like, wait a second, what kind of Jeep did they use? And then I started getting like really interested with the year of Jeep. 1984 was a big year for Jeep because it was the first year of the redesigned Jeep Cherokee. The reason why this is important and that it was used in the movie is because it was a big, huge product placement for Jeep. The Jeep Cherokee, when it was redesigned again in 1991, all those model years, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, maybe 91, all those model years were the same. So the parts fit on all of them. So I was thinking, okay, well, if I can find one for cheap and then, you know, do the paint job, get a sunroof, maybe a little body work, replace a transmission, an engine, a differential, as long as the body was good. I did look at the body today and I didn't see rust, although there are a bunch of dents on it that's going to need to be taken care of. But a tan interior, stick shift, 1984. It's like...
What's left of the interior?
It's the Goonies, guys. It's the Goonies. Metal plate. You just need the push bumper and the wheels. The wheels are hard to find. Look at that. See, they're actually raised. They're an actual license plate.
They really are.
Yeah.
Look at that. It's a license plate.
This is a screen correct version of the license plate. I know, I'm just rambling. I don't care. I'm excited. You guys haven't seen me this excited since I had sandwiches the other night.
Oh. Do you want sandwiches?
Really? The Goonies vehicle and sandwiches? Oh my gosh, today is the best day ever. This is going to be, I'm going to make this the screen version of the vehicle. I'm just going to do it. And we're going to drive it to shows, and we're going to like go to like Goonies Day and
There's a Goonies Day?
There's a Goonies Day.
Okay.
It's June 7th.
Wow.
But who's, like I
Better
said,
hurry up.
I've done, I know, right? I'm so happy. And everybody's like still thinking right now. You guys are thinking I'm crazy, number one. And number two, you're looking at the video that we just shot of the vehicle and you're like...
That's where I am still.
Yeah.
Because that was disgusting.
Yeah.
But hey, this is your baby, so
it is.
Whatever you want.
We purchased the Jeep at night, and it arrived at night. So until now, I hadn't had a really good chance to look at her. She was rough. There wasn't a door that didn't need to be replaced because of dents. The front quarter panels were dented. The light lenses were broken. The interior was moldy and trashed. The headliner was missing. The rear hatch was busted and needed to be replaced. I did receive 3 of the Jeep turbine wheels with her though. I planned on her using these unless we were going to a show, as the actual wheels are very, very rare and expensive and I don't want them to get stolen. She needed a new rear differential from the get-go. This much I knew. The one that was on it had busted gears, and the shaft had worn a hole in the case, so it couldn't be rebuilt. I decided to concentrate on the bottom rear first. I hadn't even attempted to start her, because it didn't matter yet.
All the trim on the Goonies vehicle is black around everything. The 4-wheel drive does stay. This is on the Goonies vehicle. This is going to come off of here. This gets painted black. The roof piece right here, all of this roof stuff comes off. The only thing that's on the Goonies vehicle is just the raised section of the roof. The sunroof is going to go right here, so I don't know if I should have body work done here to get the roof done first. Mirrors are getting replaced because they're too oxidized. Handles are getting replaced. On the Goonies vehicle, this actually looks like it stays silver.
The first parts that I got a lead on were the doors. I jumped at the opportunity. I drove a long way to get them. I braved driving past the old nuclear facility, farmlands, and cattle.
All right, today I'm at a private residence, a Jeep graveyard. So I just got through pulling off the hatch on the back of this one. We're going to take this door here. There's no dents in the door. Seems to work well.
My wife and I gave her a quick bath. Then my son and I pushed her into position. I removed the taillights. I removed the rear bumper. When I removed the rear bumper, I also removed all of the old trailer connections, and I found that I would have to repair the wires for the taillights. At this point, I was having a hard time locating a Dana 35 rear differential with 3.75 gears so that I could get it to the rebuilder and limit the amount of time that Mama's Jeep would be non-mobile. I removed the fuel tank straps, the fuel tank shield, and the tank. There was 38 years of mud, dirt, and rust on everything. I cleaned the rear differential U-bolt threads so that they wouldn't strip when I removed them. At this point, I came to the realization that I needed to replace everything. Mama Fratelli's Jeep was supposed to be new, so I should just make things new. I removed the rear driveline, cut the parking brake cables, then removed the differential. I was excited to receive some generic center caps for the wheels that I didn't have yet.
That is so beautiful. That's so amazing. So I found it.
What?
I don't know. I was wondering what you're doing. I thought you were going to be Madonna there for a second.
No, they're not pointy. This is more like Viking maiden.
I would have to have them engraved with the Western Wheel logo. I went to drop off the center caps at the engravers, and this is what happened.
Oh my gosh! They're gonna do it. They can do it. I've dropped them off with them. I am so excited, and I'm even more excited because they're excited about the project. They're like, "Oh, what is this going on?" And I explained it to them. They're like, "Get out!" Oh my gosh! I'm like, I know. Oh my gosh! Okay.
I found, ordered, and received 2 of the Western Wheel bullet wheels. They were in rough shape and needed to be refurbished. We received a new fuel tank. We also received a new fuel level sending unit, but the plug was wrong, so I had to cut, solder, and reuse the old plug. Also, the sock pre-filter was wrong, so I needed to order the correct one. I was taking a closer look under the vehicle and found that there was rust that ate through on both the driver and passenger front floor pans. We would need to replace them. The Jeep had a lot of moisture in it. It was coming from the roof because the cargo rack strip holes were leaking. It was time for them to come off and seal the holes to stop the water from pouring in. I removed the strips. Then I vacuumed and cleaned the holes and temporarily sealed them with tape. I loaded up the 2 wheels to drop them off to have them refurbished, but quickly changed my mind when I found out how much they wanted to do it. I was able to locate and find a brand new trunk lock latch mechanism from the dealer, which was an amazing find. I am constantly on the lookout for parts that I know I will need.
So I just stopped at another place here in town for to see if they can get the wheels cleaned up. The major problem with the wheels is that the spokes that go down, they don't have the proper machine to do that. Even the company I took it to before, that's why it was so expensive, because they would have to do that by hand. My search continues. Getting these wheels redone is going to be as hard as finding them.
I dropped off the wheels at a shady repair shop. No receipt. Very nervous. We'll see what happens. Angie and I picked up a 4th turbine wheel to make a complete set, but it had a different size tire. I went to get the tire replaced with a used one, since these wheels are just the utility ones. On a weekend, Angie and I drove about 2 hours to pick up a used differential that I found. We met in a parking lot, because you know, that's not shady. Some more driving through cow country brought us back to the private Jeep graveyard, where we found an antenna, the lower dashboard trim piece, the passenger side rear door, and a headliner. We received both of the new front floor pans, but we'll wait to install these until later. I replaced the old wheels with the newer turbines. We'll sell these to help alleviate costs. Here's the first you've seen of the door we picked up the other day. We'll leave the newer rear diff in the back of the truck for now, although I need to strip it before it is sent to the rebuilder. I began replacing the right rear door. It's a good thing that we have extra parts so that we can use the best of them. We can paint to match if we need to. 1 door down. 3 to go. We're reusing the fuel tank shield, so I cleaned and armoreled it. I picked up the remaining turbine wheel with the newly installed used tire. I think that I found driving lights that will work. Rectangular chrome-framed halogen lights are what we need, but the size is difficult to obtain. Since there are no build instructions for this vehicle, I ended up having to take a screenshot of the front of Mama's Jeep. I then cut out a driving light and placed it over the regular light to get size relevance. From there, I placed different sizes of driving lights that I found online over the actual headlight to get it to match the screenshot. The light that I just showed you matches the best, so I think that I found the correct lights. 6 3/8 by 3.5 inches.
Okay, so that's a wrap. That is the first 30 days of the Mama Fratelli's Jeep build. Done. Oh my gosh, it's been so much fun. We have a long ways to go. We hope that you guys enjoy this project and follow along with us and just see where we go from here. So we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.